I'm Josh Cooperman from Convo by Design, and this is another installment of WestEdge Wednesday. All of the programs and panels from the 2024 WestEdge Design Fair. This one, love this. You're going to absolutely love this, I promise you. The Intelligent Kitchen, How Technological Advancements Create a Higher Quality of Life. First of all, this program took place on a stage designed by Julie Beuerlein of JKB Home Design. And it is presented, the theater is presented by Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, an amazing company. So thankful to be working with these guys. And they also sponsored this program, The Intelligent Kitchen. You're going to absolutely love it. Just take my word for it. It is moderated by Easy Gonzalez of Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home and features Mark Cutler and Nicole Schultz of Cutler Schultz, Jess Jones of Jess Jones Design Group, Rachel Grakowski of RHG Architecture and Design, and Carrie Kelly of Carrie Kelly Studio. Incredible. They did a magnificent job, and I hope you enjoy this. It's incredible. Easy. It's all yours.
Very well. Thank you, Josh. Easy Gonzalez here. I'm the Vice President at Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, and I get the privilege to moderate an exciting conversation with brilliant minds and design experts and amazing humans on the topic of the intelligent kitchen. And I was reflecting on what is an intelligent kitchen. And fun fact, intelligent comes from the Latin word intelligere, to perceive and understand. The ability and power to make sense of complex information and systems and environments. We know that more and more technology is being integrated into the kitchen and making its way into the kitchen. We also know that the kitchen is the heart of the home. Research tells us that people spend more time in the kitchen than any other place in the home. At Pacific Sales, our purpose is to enrich lives through technology, to humanize and personalize kitchen and bath experiences for every project and every stage of life. We live in a world where, by a simple command, like saying holiday entertainment or the press of a button, you can transform the environment, where the projector drops, music plays, lights transition, oven preheats, dishwasher starts, ice maker kicks on, the room temperature adjusts. It takes a lot of different resources and people to bring that experience to life. And although, yes, the capability and potential exists, it takes purpose, vision, and design to truly create that experience, which is why I'm thrilled to dive into the conversation with design experts and brilliant minds on what does it mean to have an intelligent kitchen. So now let's get started. We're going to have our panelists introduce themselves. Our esteemed panelists, please introduce yourselves. We'll start with you, Mark.
Hi, my name is Mark Cutler. I'm the co-founder of Cutler Schultz. My partner Nicole is here too. We're an interior design firm based in Los Angeles. We do work all around the country and partly different places around the world as well. So,
we'll do introduction and we'll jump right into you. Mark's ready to go. Yeah. Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel Grahowski, founder and principal at RHG Architecture and Design. We are based in Montclair, New Jersey, just outside New York City, and we do work all over the country. We do residential, commercial, hospitality, wellness, and for us, design is really a wellness modality, and so that's how we approach all of our projects, including our kitchens.
Very well. Thank you, Rachel. Jessica?
Hello, I am Jessica Jones of Jess Jones Design Group. I'm located in Orange County. I've been in the industry for over 20 years now and mainly focusing on high-end luxury residential interior design.
Awesome. Nice to see you here, Jessica. Carrie?
Hi, I'm Carrie Kelly from Carrie Kelly Studio in Sacramento, California. And I'm a designer by trade, but over the past 5 years really have evolved into working and partnering with brands to bring their incredible products to the design community. So I also sit on the National Kitchen and Bath Association National Board, and there's so many exciting products that I know we'll talk about today coming out of our industry and from these manufacturers that I think you'll be really excited about.
Hi, I'm Nicole Scholes. Mark already halfway introduced me, so this is a little redundant, but I am the co-founder of Cutler Scholes. I am the Scholes. So.
Very well. Well, thank you all for joining us this evening. Now, to get us started, I would love for each of you to share, what does intelligent kitchen mean to you? What does intelligent kitchen mean to you? And we can go in the same order. We'll start with you, Mark.
I mean, without trying to sound evasive, I think what an intelligent kitchen means to different people are two totally different things. For example, let me give you two examples. We do a lot of work up in Silicon Valley. And although that's a very special use case, the client we find up there wants every bell and whistle. They want a part of their kitchen to give them a Benihana experience. They want a thing over here to give them an Italian pasta cooking experience. Everything that to sort of basically scratch their back when they walk into the kitchen, they want it. Whereas in parts of Bel Air, for instance, in Beverly Hills, where we're doing a big project, those clients, they know how they live already. Their kids are basically out of the house. They've been cooking in their kitchens for 20, 30 years. They don't necessarily need the kitchen, the oven to buzz when the pot roast is ready or when this is ready. They want something that's going to be easy to clean, easy to operate, something that functions well. And to them, that's what an intelligent kitchen is. For others, it's something that's much more technology-driven. And so the intelligente that you speak of is very much about responding to the way our clients live. We talk about interior design as a form of portraiture, about creating homes that look like the people who live in them. And I think an intelligent kitchen is really just an extension of that.
I love that. It means different things to different people, right? Awesome.
I definitely concur with that. It depends. But, you know, as I mentioned, we are often approaching design as a wellness modality, and so a lot of our clients come to us for that. We're looking at intelligent kitchen as, you know, how can it help them cook healthy foods? How can it help them preserve their foods? You know, integrating things for easeful living, like faucets that are cold, hot, and bubbly water. Like, you know, maybe it's, you know, drawer refrigeration for their kids' snacks. So how can they be present when they're in the kitchen to cook the foods the way they want them to taste in an easeful way in a short amount of time? And then we have other clients who also, you know, their kitchen is supposed to be their showpiece. They don't really cook except for a holiday. And those times too, we want the kitchen to be able to support them in the idea that cooking is also a ritual. So how can we integrate technology for those moments? And that's often a little bit different. A lot of times that's concealing small appliances. It's the hidden pantry, and you know, some of those things. Or from a technology standpoint, you know, when do I need to change the filter on my refrigerator?
I love that. A holistic approach to the moments that matter the most. Awesome.
When I think of an intelligent kitchen, you know, you think of different things, right? So when we were learning back in school, it was all about the triangle in the kitchen, right? And that's evolved tremendously over years and time. And now everything is so tech savvy. And so when it comes to our clients, thank you. When it comes to our clients, I'm seeing a lot of different asks, you know, as simple as having just function, right? And then when you start to introduce some of these intelligent kitchens, you know, depending on who the client is, whether they're like, if they're giving you a little bit of pushback or not, right? Because of everything's so techy and they're afraid of malfunctioning, right? So I get a lot of that right now, the scare. They're a little bit fearful of all of the technology that's being put at them on the daily, right? From our cars, our cell phones, everything that we touch is technically advanced these days. So I don't get a whole lot of ask right now for it, except for the younger generations. So I'm learning a little bit more about who is going to be more and more familiar. But when it comes to, when I think of, when I first heard this question, I was thinking back from when I was in school, learning about kitchens, learning about how to design a kitchen, and what all had to go into that kitchen to make it function, right? And I think that still is all relevant today, but now with the technology, with the advancement, with everything that we have access to, as in functionality, whether it's surfaces, faucets, appliances, cabinets, drawer pulls, everything is so state-of-the-art that it helps us to already create an intelligent kitchen. You know, like I think that's like the easy answer, right? Is how we learned in school, and then now it's just about upgrading and going into the technology and bringing that into the home and
Awesome.
educating the client on that.
Very well. Thank you for taking us on that journey. I think what problem is it solving is what I hear you say with functionality. There's a lot of curiosity, but also a lot of anxiety to make sure it works as intended. Carrie?
I think it's about creating a space that supports a lifestyle, and that's different for everybody. And you talked about being a luxury designer. I think part of the luxury is having something available to you before you even know you needed it.
Sure.
And as you move through a space and you work with your clients and interview them to see what is their lifestyle truly like, being able to offer those products, again, that support that lifestyle, and how do they move through a space? Is that a touchless faucet because they're busy parents with chicken in one hand and who knows what else in the other hand, and they need to be able to tap that faucet to have it turn on? Maybe. Even charging solutions in the countertop where everyone sits up at the bar and is watching the cook do their thing, but their phones are turned down and they're charging through the countertop. And even things that help with the success of what we're doing, whether it's just the Thanksgiving dinner, it's the everyday meal, having your phone go off to alert you that when the meal is truly ready. So I think it is different for everyone, and really understanding the client and their needs and how they live in their homes, that we can support their lifestyle in the best way possible.
Very well. Can we stay there for one more moment? How do you discover those? Because I love that. How do you discover the unmet needs?
I think it's really through the interview process. I mean, as designers, the value that we bring to the table is taking the time to sit and interview our client and to understand what the needs are for everyone in the home. And that's from, the 2-year-old to the 102-year-old that may be living with you, who knows, and the people that come and visit your home as well. I think as we think about hosting people and that sort of thing, having an island that has an ice maker on the end of it that people can come scoop the ice and make their own drink. I'm not the only host in the building. It becomes very interactive, and I know as we talk about this, we're talking about that central kitchen in your house, the heart of the home, but also it extends to our outdoor spaces. We're here in beautiful California where, guess what? We get to blur that line, and tonight we may have an alfresco dinner. So what does my outdoor kitchen look like, and how does that support what we do and the celebrations and the gatherings that we have in our home?
Thank you. Nicole?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that has been said here, so I feel like I'm just going to kind of repackage that a little bit. But I think it's really about knowing what our clients value. So knowing your client, knowing what they value. We don't want to just stock a kitchen with all the bells and whistles, because if they have a coffee maker that makes 250 different kinds of cappuccino or whatever, and they don't really use it, it's not of use or value to them. So it's really about finding out, do they value having an oven that's intuitive and, can adjust roasting times based on, the size of the dish that's inside the oven, and do they want a dishwasher that, automatically senses how soiled the dishes are and adjusts water temperature and detergent used and things like that. We find, for the most part, our clients, this might be their second, maybe third kitchen. They know how they live. They know how they like to cook. They know how they like to use their kitchen, and we want to provide a kitchen that enhances that and is of value to them for the long run. We want them to use it.
I love that. I love that you all connected it to really starting with the client in that discovery, because it truly could mean a lot of different things to different people. Now, we're going to shift gears here. What has been the most impactful kitchen technology you have applied to your kitchen design? We'll start with you again, Mark.
Was this in our notes before?
Surprise.
I mean, it's perhaps it's an obtuse response to that question, but part of it comes back to the idea of how do people really know what they want, and how do you anticipate needs that they don't understand. And I think one of the most impactful things that we've done for clients is make them really understand how they use their kitchen. And one of the things that we talk to people about is, okay, you know, and some of them may sound sort of rudimentary. It could be something as basic as every time you touch something in your kitchen, put a Post-it note on it. And then at the end of a meal, stand back and see where the Post-it notes are. Or when you're looking at a plan that we give you for your new kitchen, walk through your 3 favorite meals on this plan. And so am I going to the fridge to get the chicken, and I'm getting the Parmesan out of here, and I'm grating it over here, and I'm washing it over here? And how does this plan work for the way you operate? Because the worst thing in the world you want to do is create a kitchen for someone and then have them go, well, you know, everything I need is over there, but everything I cook is over there, and why did this end up like that? And so I think probably the biggest thing we've been able to give our clients is sort of going into it a thorough understanding about how they really live and how they really operate within a kitchen, because oftentimes a kitchen, which is one of the most aspirational rooms in the house, becomes that. It's like, oh, I saw this, you know, I saw Betty had this, or Joe had that, and that's what I want. Well, it's like, is it really? And it's about coming back to what is it that you really want, and what is going to make your family feel better and operate better. And I think that's probably the biggest thing we've been able to give.
Love that. So it sounds like a really powerful reflection exercise and mapping out your day-to-day, right? I love that. Rachel?
It is a difficult question, but I think, you know, for our clients, it seems to be learning about the appliances that exist today that are different from what a lot of people grew up with. So whether it's the speed oven, that is, you know, a microwave, an oven, a convection oven, and a sous vide, or it's the steam oven, which also is a convection oven or a sous vide, right? Like, or an air fryer that is, you know, also a steam oven, right? Like, I didn't even know that until recently, and I have one, right? So I feel like, you know, starting to talk about some of these appliances, so many of our clients come in, they're like, I want a double oven, I want a warming drawer, I want, you know, gas cooktop, and then when we start educating them about the possibilities, they're like, wait, what's that? You know, and so that, I think, is the big, and again, that affects the quality of the food that they cook and they feed their family, and overall the wellness that they're experiencing in life. So I think that's really the biggest impact that technology has made. And you know, I have to say, like, we do send some of our clients even to classes at the different vendors' showrooms so that they can try out the appliances, and then, you know, sometimes they get to try a meal or they get to try to cook themselves, and that's also really, really helpful.
So 2 things. Love getting the client immersed into an actual experience, like the vendor showroom. And then also, it sounds like clients don't remodel every year. So a lot has changed since they did their remodel. So they sometimes go through this discovery. I didn't know that an appliance can do that. I didn't know that we can do that in the kitchen. And so thank you for bringing that to surface. So I'm going to change it up a little bit, but because I think there is a lot of...
Because I was
Well-
literally going to say
well, we're
exactly
gonna-
what she said. So it was going to be about the speed oven, and
Well,
my favorite thing is a microwave drawer. So
We're going to try to make it a little fun, because I think when I see what has been the most impactful, there's a lot of pressure on that question. So let's just change the word. What has been the most exciting, impactful, or cool tech that you have applied in your kitchen? So it doesn't have to be the most impactful, but maybe the most fun, exciting.
Yeah, recently I have a client and we visited many different showrooms and the experience center to walk them through to teach them because she thought she was set on the same layout, the same appliances, and the same brand. And I said it's really, really evolved since you've first built your kitchen 25 years ago. And even though she had high-end appliances then, which served her well and her family, I said there's so much more out there. We got her. She was so thrilled. She thought she was set on one brand, went with another brand. We went to the Experience Center. She went to a cooking class. And having that access now for our clients really helps sell the kitchen, especially when you're in that luxury, brand and that bracket. But what I've noticed on repeat with clients is steam oven is a game changer for a lot of my families, especially in Southern California. We're very health conscious. So I think a lot of people, once they realize it doesn't have to all just be a microwave and there's a steam convection or / speed oven, all these different capabilities that you have. And the other one that my clients have really navigated to is like the Wolf. I think it's the M series where it's the probe and you just put it in and program it and walk away and you get your prime rib at medium rare perfectly cooked. And things like that where I don't think anyone really realized that they have those capabilities now has been a game changer, especially for my clients that are big entertainers and they're cooking big meals and things like that. But I think those two things are, once I educate the client, they absolutely are sold on and they see the difference. And now they're like, we want a tiny little microwave that's not going to get used to be hidden in the pantry. They don't even want a microwave in their home anymore.
I love that. Yeah, so many people that aren't professional chefs aspire to be a professional chef, and some of these tech innovations allow somebody to experience that because you can actually do amazing things with some of these innovations. So thank you for sharing, Jessica.
I'm going to go with the cool zone.
Love it.
And the sustainable one too. I think it's wonderful when, as designers, we can bring experiences into a client home. And oh, by the way, there's some sustainability that comes along with it. So on the experiential level, the in-wall coffee maker that is basically a barista in your house, and I don't need to leave the building to go get the Starbucks cup every day of my life. I can have it in my own mug just the way I want, set all the settings just the way I want, and have it while I'm in my robe without leaving the building. That's a game changer, I think. Also, zip water in how we can have the filtered cool water, the filtered bubbly water, or the filtered boiling hot water. Again, another experiential thing, but also as I watch families bring in cases of bubbly water, that all goes away when we're able to install an appliance like that, or a fixture, I should say, like that, where they just have it at the ready and they can tap it, and it helps with entertaining and supports what they're doing when they have guests over or when they're alone just want a hot cup of tea.
Very cool. Thank you for taking us on the end.
Yeah, zip water was mine.
She needs to go first. Next question.
So, yeah,
Nicole,
so
you're going
steam oven
first.
was another one, but
I recently had a client call me to say that that's her favorite thing that we put in her whole entire house was the zip system.
I mean, it feels good too, right? When you're not carrying in those boxes of
And it's
additional.
the perfect size bubble.
It's a perfect size bubble.
Put it in the bar, or put it in the kitchen, or put it in the master bedroom suite, however big it
Absolutely.
is.
it's
Which we
good.
have.
It's actually delicious.
So now we're going to go, what is the worst? No, we're not going to do that. So we're going to start with you, Nicole. How do you educate your clients on new innovations and advancements in appliances, lighting, and materials?
So we do a pretty comprehensive, Mark has kind of already gone through the process with how we set up sort of kitchen design meetings with our clients, and that we really go through step by step by step how they cook, what their wants are in the kitchen, A lot of times our clients will have ideas of what they think they want, and in actuality, it turns out that we're nowhere near what they thought they would. They want 2 Sub-Zeros and a this and a that, and then they start thinking about it, and we start mapping it out, and it's really not how they're living. Maybe they were once when they had 4 kids in the house, and now they don't. So, those types of things need to be adjusted. But truthfully, the thing that is invaluable is going to a showroom and walking through with showroom professionals that are absolute experts and being able to look at, try, see all the options that are out there, because as we just mentioned, our clients are not, they're keeping their kitchens for a long time. Like, we're designing for decades. They're putting the time, the money, the thought into having this kitchen. They're not going to tear it out, in a couple of years. So this is a true investment in their home, and it's truly invaluable to be able to go to a showroom and shop appliances and show them what's out there. They probably haven't looked, for about 25 years.
I love the role that you play as a coach to the client too. And they think they want
think
or
they
they
know.
need, and so until you walk them through what is possible, you get to a place that makes sense for
Yeah,
what
definitely.
they're looking for. So thank you for sharing that, Carrie.
That hands-on fun is something that we do too. We invite our clients to have their favorite cookie recipe, bring it into the showroom, and cook it in the steam oven or whatever it may be that they're looking at. See how it comes out. Was it easy? Was it what you expected? And then you get to eat the cookies afterwards, so that's all great. Also, we come to places like WestEdge and discover an induction downdraft system in the Connoisseurs Club and what's being launched and what's happening. We also go to KBIS and bring all that back through Instagram. So we're live on the street and our clients are watching this happen, and then we're able to share the experience when we come back and tell them about it. We also do something that's a bit of a celebration when a kitchen project is done. When there are enough products sold with a specific brand, often they will offer to have a chef come in the home, and you invite all their friends and family to come over and celebrate their renovation, and the chef from whatever brand comes over, shows people how to use the appliances. So then it's not only that family that gets to experience that, and we bring the wine as the interior designers and they take care of everything else, but then it's the next person that they sell to that gets to have a part of that experience, the neighbors, the family members, to really understand that experience as well.
Very cool. So it's like an ecosystem of like education through. Yeah, I love it.
Community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome, Jessica.
I just feel like in our industry, in Orange County especially, we're really spoiled. We have beautiful showrooms, we have experience centers, we are constantly have amazing reps that come to visit us, that educate us. I've been on many beautiful trips around the world now, not just for kitchens, but product, right? Materials, appliances, going to the Wolf factory, going to the Sub-Zero factory. So I'm really, really educated, and I'm a constant learner in our industry, so that when I am in front of the client, I know my product, I know my stuff. And so I can say I have been to, Madison, Wisconsin, to Sub-Zero, and I saw how they make the refrigeration, and this is why this is a food preservation, and I teach them also, so I educate the clients, and so I immerse myself in constant education for my client, so that when we are having those conversations about what they need in their kitchen, what they want, how they live, how they cook, I already know the next answer. I'm one step ahead of them because I'm constantly immersing myself in our industry.
Love that culture of continuous learning.
It is, for sure.
Which is super important because they change so fast, right? I love that too. In addition to a lot of the things that people have been saying, one of the things that we do is storytelling. So once we get to know our client, we start to help them imagine how their life could be different. What are the things that they haven't actually thought about? Like what could, again, make their children start to actually cook their own food, or what might make them be excited about cooking again? Sometimes we've integrated things into the kitchen like, self-watering herb gardens, or they don't always work. They don't always work. They don't always work. But things that kind of get them excited to come and be in the kitchen and be active. And we do that through storytelling. I feel like they start to figure out what their life could be like that they wouldn't have otherwise understood.
Thank you. Mark?
One of the best and worst things about being an interior designer is that people expect you to know everything about everything, whether it's from waterproofing and how to adhere a carpet to a slab all the way to the technology behind a kitchen. And so one of the things we've learned is find really good people. And so we regard the salespeople in our showrooms as part of our team. And we try to foster those relationships so that we can take our clients there and we trust them. We trust that they know what's the latest and greatest. We trust that they know what's coming out, and if we wait another 6 months, it's a new model, or the price is going down, or the price is going up, or whatever. And so there's a certain humility into being able to sort of step back, take your client and hand them to these people. We shepherd that process for sure and ask the right questions that we think maybe sort of lurking in the back of their mind, but being able to sort of hand that back rather than rely on us having all of that knowledge, because we're never going to have all of that knowledge about all of those things. And so it's about finding the right experts and putting your client in front of those experts is the way that we kind of try to sort of short circuit that process as much as possible.
I love that. You got me thinking about, and we hit on it a couple of times, like technology continues to evolve every day. And so there's a big responsibility on, do I know enough? But there's a community that is ready to support every project. And so like it alleviates some of that sense of responsibility that you need to know everything. But you have partners that you can collaborate, that you can connect with, that allow you to get you to the best innovation for that experience. So thank you for sharing that. Next question, we'll start with you again, Nicole. Multiple kitchens. Kitchens have expanded their footprints to include butlers' pantries, wine bars, coffee centers, and more. The personalization of capabilities are off the charts. Are you customizing these spaces? We kind of talked about some of them earlier for your clients. If so, how?
I'm sorry, do you mean, are we customizing between the butler's pantry, the main kitchen, and then the outdoors? Or
Yes, in terms of the expanded footprint that we're seeing.
Yes. Kitchens, yes, they have been. They've been growing and growing and growing. Typically what our clients are going to want to see is the majority of, say, the most decorative and the highest, I would guess, cost-wise finishes end up in the main kitchen, right? So the range that's the stunner is going to be in the main kitchen. It's going to be set up a little bit more for entertaining, things like that. And then the butler's is usually a little more utilitarian. It's set up for caterers with bigger ovens, more ovens actually. And then the outdoor kitchens are really, they're so expansive now. It's like your indoor is outdoor now. Almost everyone has all the luxuries that come in the indoor kitchen are going to be transplanted to the outdoor kitchen. And all those extra bells and whistles. So, yeah.
Carrie, can you share, thank you, Nicole. Can you share an example of how tech is making its way into those spaces?
I feel like those were things that we talked about in the beginning of this. I think what I was going to piggyback on what you were saying about the kitchens is just really not having rules about the kitchen because of the technology that can support it and because of that interview process that we talked about. I have one client who has decided that they're going vegan and they are going to need more fresh vegetables for a family of 4 than they've ever anticipated. And this is a big shift for them, but they are growing the herbs in the kitchen. They realized they needed 2 refrigerators because of this new lifestyle. They realized they needed 2 sinks. They needed 2 dishwashers. They needed more counter space to prepare all these vegetables. And so I think in that interview process, if we can cater these expanded kitchens to what is actually happening and not feel like, oh gosh, that's not what a kitchen is, get beyond that, then we can really be helpful to our clients. Going to the dirty kitchen that we've built off the beautiful kitchen that has no fingerprints, just being able to have the dirty kitchen that the kids come in after school, and I remember stocking the bins of what's going to go underneath the counters and the chips and the candies and all the things. I mean, like, this is why all the kids come to this house after school, because this is all permission, and the younger kids are able to create their own experience in their home and be a part of the cooking and the snacking and the heating up the thing in the microwave because it's at their level. So I would say just really leaning into what happens in this house and creating a kitchen that supports that.
I love that. Both you and Nicole mentioned the preconceived expectations on what a kitchen should be and thinking beyond that.
Yeah,
Does it have to be that?
yeah. And we haven't even talked about wine yet. Why aren't we talking about a wine column? I mean, talk
Let's
about the
do it.
life-changing things, I mean, bringing that outdoor experience, the experience that you love to go at the restaurant, bringing it into your home. So whether that's the coffee maker or the
Love that.
wine
Yeah,
column,
and-
I think
whatever.
Jessica's ready to talk about
She's
wine.
ready.
Yeah,
We hit a chord. We struck a chord.
totally. And so I feel like today the kitchen's just not in the kitchen.
Right.
You're bringing in these kitchen items or appliances or plumbing into lots of areas of the home. So obviously the obvious ones are kitchen, your butler's pantry, or your dirty kitchen, right? Your outdoor kitchen, right? But now we have master bedrooms that are getting coffee makers, they're getting filter faucets, they're getting even Instahots. Now we have spas that are getting the refrigeration and, filter faucets in there. So all these different, the bonus room, right? The teen room, that you're adding an extra faucet upstairs in the bonus teen room because now we have a refrigerator and the kids are up there snacking. So now we're putting refrigeration or sinks, for the most part, ice makers, microwaves, in all different parts of the home now, depending on, obviously, the scale of the home. So I just don't feel like it just lends to the kitchen. I'm finding myself specifying appliances and plumbing throughout the house. And, now we're doing ADUs, right? We have guest quarters, we have casitas, so it's, one property, some properties that we are, working with, they can have 3 true kitchens in them with all the added extras. And we're not talking like the bars,
Yeah.
the wine fridges, the wine rooms, all of that comes into play now. So it's the whole house. I mean,
We should just rename the kitchen.
I mean, I think it's the idea of hospitality at home, right? So everybody wants those moments. So whether it's the expansion of the kitchen and the kitchen with the wine room, we did one house where it's like a walk-through wine room, right? Like that connects the dining room and the kitchen. And, I mean, it's a bells and whistles, right? It's like, it's a really cool thing. How much wine do they drink? I mean, they only live there, maybe like 15 days a month, right? So I don't think they really are drinking that much wine. But, and there have been times, in all honesty, that I'm looking at the kitchen and I'm like, do you really need 3 sinks in like eyes distance? Probably 2 makes sense, right? Like, I get it. But it's the hospitality idea. Here's my coffee center. I don't have to go over to the refrigerator. My 3 different types of milk are right here, and I don't have to walk across the kitchen to fill the coffee pot. Which, I mean, frankly, like, who doesn't want to live that way, right? It's like living in a hotel all the time. We all enjoy that. It makes our lives more easeful. But I think it's stunning to me that some of our projects feel like 50% of the first floor is actually the kitchen. And then you go up to the second floor, and as you were saying, there's like a whole second, it's not really a kitchen, but maybe there's a microwave, and there's a dishwasher, and there's certainly a sink and a beverage cooler, and yeah, so all over the place. Hospitality all the time.
Clients don't want to be inconvenienced by walking downstairs to get something to drink now.
To be fair, it can take a while, it can.
I mean, to some extent, the kitchen has become the new living room. A lot of the houses we're working on now doesn't have a formal living room, so there's a large entertaining family space, and the kitchen is part of that. So sort of the natural reaction to that is, well, you don't want to see someone chopping vegetables and cooking meat while you're sort of hanging out in your living room. And so the rise of the dirty kitchen has become very, very popular, whereas the kitchen is really just for looking at. We don't cook in that one. We cook in the one behind the wall. And that's where all the dirt happens. And so the decentralization, as Jessica was talking about earlier, about sort of the breakdown of sort of that triangle of space, is now being totally broken apart and decentralized. And those different uses are saying, well, that doesn't have to happen in the kitchen anymore. That can happen, in the family room, or that can happen in the theater, or that can happen in the master bedroom. And so it's sort of broken down all those different use cases and pulled them to different parts of the house, as sort of the kitchen has sort of taken on a different sort of meaning and a more sort of presentation meaning than it has in the past.
Yeah, I think
I was just going to say, isn't it interesting that houses used to have, or at least on the East Coast, they used to have two kitchens, right? You had the butler's kitchen, and we've been getting rid of them for, the last 30 years, and now we're
starting to put them
starting to
back
put
in
them
the
back.
last few projects. They all
Yeah.
have this other thing, and it's bizarre to me.
very well. So there's this component of productivity, convenience, safety, but there's also what I hear a social component of the kitchen. We have probably sometimes Sub-Zero Wolf appliances or like 10, 15, 20, $30,000 kitchens that never get used. And so there's a social component on some of the innovations, whether it's going to be used, but it's a conversation. And if that's important to the client, I think you all are able to discover that and bring that to life through your design. So appreciate
It's
that.
almost just like having your Ferrari parked in the garage when you have your Wolf range parked in your kitchen.
Oh, I love that analogy.
There is another element too, that the rise of the private chef. A lot, 25 years ago, even our wealthiest clients, perhaps their housekeeper would cook and then sort of head off into another part of the house and sort of they would reheat dinner. Now you've got someone who's there who's cooking 3 meals a day, who's sort of doesn't necessarily want to be seen as part of the household. And so it's like, where do we put them? But they need to have access to all of this stuff. And that chef is something that's becoming much, much more popular. There used to be sort of the for the ultra rich, and is now not the case at all. That wealthy people, it's not uncommon for them to have someone to cook every day for them.
Thank you, Mark. Next, 2-ish more questions. Exploring apps in many new appliances. Are your clients using them? Nicole?
Are we starting back
Yeah.
in? Yeah. That is a great question. Great question. And I'd be interested to hear what everyone else has to say. But our typical client does skew a little bit older, I guess I would say. And, they're on, like I mentioned before, this isn't their first kitchen. I don't know exactly if it's, they're fine with technology. It's not like they, absolutely don't embrace technology in any way, but it's an interesting thing that whenever you say, oh, this can be controlled by an app, they immediately are like, nope, I have enough apps. I don't want another one on my phone. I don't want to deal with it.
It's turned to
in a
PTSD
way
now.
that instead of making things simpler, which is what this technology is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to make things easier, simpler, more straightforward. In their heads, it's the exact opposite. It is making things more complicated. It is something they don't want to deal with. And, this takes this goes a little bit outside of that, but even when you're talking about, whole home automation systems, and, we've had clients that are in large homes that say, I just want to turn it on with a switch. Like, I want to see where the switch is, and I just want to touch the switch, and that's it. I don't want to deal with a whole system. They need a system, but it's just, I don't know. That has been, I think, our experience of late, that I don't know if people are just a little bit overwhelmed with just everything being on a different app and just feeling like I'd just rather not deal, period. But I'd be interested to hear what other people's experiences have been.
Yeah, I think when a house can be integrated into like a Control4 system, it can feel great. The music comes on, the window coverings raised, the lighting's perfect. I mean, it's creating the backdrop of your home and how you live in it. I don't see apps being used as much when it comes to appliances necessarily, but I am seeing the whole integrated system where it can create a whole ambiance for the home.
The app that I have sold my clients on many times has nothing to do with kitchens and appliances. It's called Plant Parent, to keep their plants alive.
I'm writing that one down.
Yeah, because I want live, real plants in my projects. So I get them a little gauge on Amazon, and I get them a Plant Parent app, and I tell them, take a picture of every single one of your plants, so they keep plants alive. That is one of the #1 apps that I use right now in my projects.
I love that.
I'm getting that. I think that I agree. Like, it's really stressful for clients to think that they have to have another app. I will speak about myself personally. Like, I do have the apps. I look at it. I know if somebody in my family's turned the oven on, and I'm like, what are they making? Are they going to make dinner so I don't have to do that? Or, but it is great for maintaining your appliances. Like, again, you know when the filter needs to be cleaned. You know when you need to change the water filter. You know, I guess those are really the main ones. But I think for the most part, people are just like, they actually want to live when they're in their kitchen. Because again, if you think about food that is cooked with love tastes better, then you think about, like, you want to be present in your kitchen. You want to be part of your kitchen. You want to be part of the experience and the ritual. So ultimately, I think a lot of our clients kind of use it out here, but not, down here.
Yeah, we can have a whole conversation on the intention of love in making food. So there's definitely a ton of science behind that for sure too. So thank you for sharing that.
And I think to a large extent, it sort of falls into two categories. Like, there's broader picture things where an app is great, like music. Like, if I'm listening to the music in my living room, I don't want to walk into the hallway to change the music. But if I'm cooking and I want to adjust the temperature on my oven, I don't want to walk over to my phone to pick up my app to adjust the temperature on my oven. And whereas things like whether the water filter needs to be changed, I don't need to be standing in the refrigerator to learn that. So sure, that's great information to have on an app. But to change the temperature of my oven or turn my microwave on, it's better to do that at the thing. So it's sort of situational. I think some of those broader maintenance sort of things make life much easier to be able to get access to that when you're not in the kitchen, whenever you're at the supermarket or on Amazon. But those other sort of more practical things of turning volumes on and stuff like that is more non-app based.
I guess lighting. Our clients probably all use it for the lighting in the kitchen. So.
Lighting. Yeah, and we can spend more time than we have this evening to go deeper on each of the subjects and topics and spaces that we touched on. But let's take a moment to celebrate the insights that we heard from our esteemed panelists here. Let's give them a round of applause.